Pastor Dave out in Holly, Michigan, in historic downtown Holly for the annual Blessing of the Bikes. Him, Hawks in Ministry, is a motorcycle ministry, and they're having the annual Blessing of the Bikes. I just want to share this with all of you today. We're out here. Welcome to God Ministries as well. Look around. Annual Blessing of the Bikes in Holly, Michigan.
That is playing down in the gears, the gearbox of that bridge that raises that system and lowers that system. So he steps out and he begins to yell down to that boy to get out of that gearbox, and notices that it's actually his son that's playing in that gearbox. The problem with this is, of course, if he begins to raise the bridge, it's going to crush his son, and he knows that. And so the man has to make a decision. As he sees the boat coming through with hundreds of passengers, it was a cruise vessel with hundreds of passengers on it, he has to make a decision as to whether he's going to let that boat hit that bridge and save his son, or whether he's going to raise that bridge and allow his son to perish. And in just a split moment, he's trying to scream and yell, but the boat is now blowing its horn because it knows it's getting close. And in just a split moment, he does what is unthinkable, and he raises that bridge. Over 200 passengers, the story goes, sail through unaware. They have no idea. They continue eating, they continue dancing, they continue playing their games, and that sort of thing as the boat goes through that pass. Unaware that the man has just made the greatest sacrifice for each and every one of them. Here we are over 2,000 years from the exact same thing happening on a cross, where the Bible tells us that Jesus Christ, God Himself, came in human form, and He hung on that cross, not because He did anything wrong, but because what I did wrong, what you did wrong. The Bible says that every one of us are sinners. And I can tell you, I've talked to a lot of people, and most people won't deny that. Most people won't say, no, I've never sinned. Most everybody says, yeah, nobody's perfect. But here's the problem. God requires us to be perfect to enter heaven. And you say, well, who can do that? That's impossible. Nobody can be perfect. That's exactly right. But that is what God says has to happen. And so, every person's a sinner. Every person's not perfect, but God says you have to be perfect to enter. So what do? Well, there's, no amount of effort that can make me never a sinner. I've already sinned. Even if I tried beginning right now to be as good as I could possibly be, and let's just say I was able for the next 50 years. That's probably optimistic, right? Living another 50 years. But let's just say 50 years, okay? I probably should cut down on cheeseburgers if that's my goal. But 50 years, I don't sin again. It still doesn't matter because I've sinned already, and I am a sinner. And so nobody can be perfect. We're stuck. We've got no ability to save ourselves. And so what is the answer? What is the way? Well, Jesus said, I am the way. I am the truth, and I am the life. And if a person will come to Him through His sacrifice, that person can be forgiven. The Bible says that God treated Jesus as though He was a sinner on that cross, so that He could treat you and I, the sinners, as though we were innocent. He took the innocent one and put him on a cross, and let all the guilty ones go free, and that's us. If we will come to God through that sacrifice, He says He will never turn anyone away. I don't know your story here today. I don't know whether or not you feel like God could never accept you, or whether you feel like God would be happy to have you, or I don't know what your story is, but here's the thing. Nobody, He will not refuse anyone who comes to Him. The Bible says all who call on the name of the Lord will be saved.